Fox Drug Store and Vintage Gardens Assisted Living work together to implement a filled multi-dose card system for the home's 85 residents. As this video case study shows, patients benefit when pharmacies and assisted living facilities work together.
Hi, my name is Ron Jung. Along with my wife Diane Jung, we own Fox Drug Store. In the 70s, we purchased a pharmacy in Selma, California, where we could raise our family. We worked and we're part of a community. And we've been doing it 40 years. And at that time, we had bought 2 other pharmacies, and we opened a fourth pharmacy, which was a long-term care pharmacy.
Hi, my name is Diane Jung, and my husband and I started Fox Drug Store almost 40 years ago. Pharmacy then was a little different than it is now. When we first started, we filled a lot of prescriptions, and our mode of getting the medicine to the people was just simply through vials. Well, through the years, the prescriptions, the demand to get people to take their medicines and take it correctly became more and more important. There were multiple bottles, and multiple times people would have to come in and get refills. And as the age of the patients became older and older, it became more difficult for some of them to coordinate refilling their prescriptions. And so we implemented medication synchronization. We call it cycle fill. And so we would every month gather a profile of our patients, and we would fill all their medicines for them once a month, call them to come in and verify that they are still on their medicines, and then of course make arrangements either to send it out to them or to have them come in and pick it up. Well, as time still progressed, we decided that retail pharmacy, we could do more for people if we developed a long-term care facility. And so we started that aspect of our store, and we wanted to do something different, something not like everybody else. Everyone else had bingo packs and so forth, and so we started looking for something unique, and we found something, and it was called Dispill. And Dispill is really, we think, is so outstanding compared to everything else out in the market, because it does a lot of identification of product for patients, accuracy. So we looked into Dispill, and we started using Dispills to help our patients in the nursing homes. And that became more and more labor intense because the business got busier and busier. We're filling a lot of Dispills. What we need to do is we need to automate. And so our son, Jason, took that charge, and he went on the internet and he did a lot of homework, and he came across SynMed. And SynMed, we went to visit them, and so they were really helpful in identifying what they can do for us. And so we started our union together, and it's been really good for us. We use their system to fill our Dispills, and it's probably cut the workload down. It's something that we needed to do, like it took us 4 days, we could probably do it in 2 days, so half the time. So it's really, really good. Our son, Jason, he was very instrumental in helping us develop our long-term care, the long-term care aspect of our store. And so he was the one that went out and helped us identify the product, and he was the one that went out and identified the automation And so he actually is the tech person that mom and dad didn't have the background in this. And so it's been really great to have Jason, because he understands the pharmacy part of it, but he also understands the technical side of it.
Hi, I'm Jason Jung. I'm the CFO, COO of Fox Drug Stores, and basically help run the operations for all of our pharmacies. And I'm here today to talk to you about our medication process and our adherence packaging. So the first thing that happens is when we get orders from our assisted living and other facilities such as Vintage Gardens, the orders will come in here at our kind of a little bit of our call center in a sense. And basically we can get orders in multiple methods. The doctors can call us directly, they can fax us, or the home can fax us, and then we can also get like a prescription through the computer system, so an e-script in a sense. So we take the orders here in this area, and then our technicians will input the order and check it over, make sure it's a valid script and everything, and then they send it over to the production area. Okay. So after the data process, we have another technician come over and get the batch file from our computer system to the SynMed computers, at which point they do a secondary check to make sure that all the meds are supposed to be in the packaging, do show up on the labels, as well as making sure there's nothing that's been missed that should be in the packaging, so that there's a second check on the medications. And then after that, once they're satisfied that the medications are going to go through the machine properly, they'll start the production, which will go into the into the machine. The machine will do its thing, fill all the different blisters. And then send out the tray letting us know that it's finished. Then that technician, after the machine is done, will turn and they'll verify and make sure that all the pills did in fact get dropped in the proper spot. There's no pills that bounced, which is very, very rare, any sort of errors. And then they will, again, like I said, for a third time, check the machine, make sure that the meds are correct, they're in the right spot, and that the labels match up. And then they'll seal up the packaging and send it over to the pharmacist for a final verification step. The pharmacist actually checks multiple things, looks to make sure that the prescription is correct, that all the pills are actually in the packaging looks correct and is sealed properly. And then once all that's been verified, the pharmacist will then transfer the medications to our transport and delivery group, who in turn will, one final time, make sure that they have all the prescriptions for all the patients to be delivered to the facilities, and they will package them into boxes or however we need to send them out, and then they'll take them out to the facilities and deliver the medications to them for final distribution to the patients. When I joined the company back in 2008, we were packaging our facilities in cards sort of like this, which is very standard in the industry. We refer to them as bingo cards, and a lot of places do it, a lot of places offer great service with it. So first thing I looked at is how can we differentiate ourselves from our competition? So I looked at various options that we had available to us, including these bingo cards. There are other stuff like vials or strip packaging, but eventually we decided on a card called the Dispill card, which looks like this. And basically with this card, it's a step up than the old bingo card, because it has the names of the patient, what's in the packaging. Instead of just one pill, it has all the pills for that dosing, so it makes it a lot easier for facilities to administer medications to their patients. Instead of having to pop out everything all day long, they can just tear off one little packet, give it to the patient, and be done for the day. So it really was a big time saver and is very popular among the facilities. So we didn't find a lot of interest in other forms of packaging, the strip packaging, the vials. It was too confusing, too different from what people were used to, so we settled on using the Dispill. And that proved very popular for us. We managed to grow the business very well for the next 2 or 3 years. And we got to the point where we really felt we needed to look at some sort of automation in order to continue growth, because otherwise we were going to get swamped with labor costs and space issues at the pharmacies to fill everything. So we started looking around for different automations that would help us with production. We looked at strip packaging units, vial packaging units, and nothing really seemed to fit what we wanted until finally we found the SynMed technologies and the SynMed unit. So we took the plunge and purchased one of those, and it's been really a wonderful add-on for us, because now we have an even more advanced packaging with some extra features that weren't available before. You know, one of the key benefits is the pictures of the patients, which a lot of facilities were just like, wow, you know, your packaging before was really good. This is like the next step up. It's even better, it's more safe, it's really helps them cut down on their errors even more so than before. So, you know, with the machine, it's helped us in cutting down labor time and packaging times, as well as increasing our efficiency, as well as reducing our error rates from doing it by hand. And you know, the facilities really like the product as well because of increased features that they didn't even think about. They knew before. They were like, wow, you can do a picture? That's even better, because if we have a new employee, they won't know the patients, and so it helps them give the right medications to the right patient as well. So with getting the machine, it's really been a real help to our business. We've actually gotten even more business, because now even more facilities are like, hey, I like this even better than what we have now, so let's give it a shot. So who do we market to, and who are our customers that we usually have? There's 4 main categories that we look at. The main one that we focus on currently with our production and our facility are assisted living facilities and board and care facilities. Both of those are very profitable, and they really can use our services, because there's not a lot of pharmacies who specifically target these 2 categories of facilities, and so we found that this is a really good niche to be in, because they really do like our product and our offerings, and at the same time we feel like we can offer them something that really will help their life and make their job easier, safer, and more efficient. So those are the 2 that we target currently. In terms of expansion potential, what we can look at are skilled nursing facilities. One of the challenges that's facing those right now is they're moving from just like a 30-day or a monthly fill down to 7-day packaging, and that's one of the great features about SynMed, is that we can actually do that already. I mean, it's got the capabilities to do just 1 week at a time, and that's exactly what a skilled facility will need. And so, you know, when we're ready to make that leap into servicing skilled, we already have the technology to be able to do that. So that's another really good feature about SynMed. And the last group of customers that we can focus on are just retail customers, you know, moms and pops, you know, either trying to make their life easier, not have to track all their meds for them, or if they have a loved one that they want to try and keep out of a facility for a little bit longer, we can offer this packaging to them as well to help prolong that and keep them at home with their loved ones a little bit longer. So there's really 4 main categories of customers that we can look at: the board and care facilities, the larger assisted livings, skilled nursing, and just plain retail customers.
My name is Louis Jebbia, Executive Director of Vintage Gardens Assisted Living Community. I've been in the senior housing industry for 30 years, and with the different communities throughout several different states in the United States. A little bit about Vintage Gardens. Vintage Gardens is a not-for-profit organization, and which is very diversified. So we have about 85 residents, and 24/7 operation, dealing with about 55 staff members. We have 2 nurses on staff with med techs and personal care assistants. So the medications are divided up in several different ways between what nurses are when they're there, what the med techs will do, and of course, with the personal care assistants as well. The first task was to choose the system that we felt was the safest, secure, and sanitary system. And that system we chose was Dispill. We sold that to the families by having multiple meetings and selling the benefits. That meant that each family member had to change over from where they were currently receiving medications. And so that system took a little while to get in place, but now we have 100% of our residents on the Dispill system. So in my 30 years in the senior housing industry, I have looked at many different medication dispensing systems, and they didn't quite live up to the potential. So when I was meeting with Fox Pharmacy, I was looking for the correct dispensing system. We had to look for a system that would be less labor intensive, a system that is more sanitary, and a system that would be conducive for non-medical professionals to handle in the safest form. To me, as an executive director, it is important that I feel that the mission is being accomplished and that we are reaching the goals that we intended to. And Dispill's system has offered that opportunity for us.
I'm I'm the nurse here at Vintage Garden. I just would like to show you our medication room. Here in our med room, we store all of our residents' medications. If you look at the wall, we are hanging blister packs. All of our medications are set up by orders of the room numbers. So it starts off at room 103. This is Olive Hall, floor 1, and extends behind me into Hall 2 and into the 3rd wall. Here at Vintage Garden, we do have a med cart. This is where we put our medications in before we go to our residents. Here is our MAR. This is where a lot of our prescriptions, our paper are, where we find out, what to give to a resident, what not to give. We also sign off on these. Just to show you an example of our blister packs. It's color coordinated. So yellow is morning. And then since this resident doesn't take any medications at lunchtime, we don't have to worry about that. There's nothing in there. She does take medications in the evening during dinner time. That is in an orange. And then all her bedtime pills are in blue. Also matches the numbers of medication that's also in the blister pack. And not only that, but if we were curious about what each medication was, there's a picture that shows the medication, the name of the medication, and also the strength of the medication. So it will definitely, it's detail where we don't have to question how many medications, because we know. And matching our medication to our MAR also helps out, because then we can say, you know what, resident so-and-so is taking 5 medications. We have 5 medications up in the front where you can see, and then we're also verifying on our MAR that the medication name matches. Okay, so when we get our meds delivered from Fox Pharmacy, what we usually do and what we do all the time is we want to make sure that we get the correct blister packs for the correct residents. And after verifying that we've got all of the medications for all of our residents, what we usually do is we hang them up So they go up according to the room numbers. And usually in the morning, about 6 o'clock, our knock shift is responsible for taking the medications for the day. What they do is they'll tear the medications and they will set them in the individual compartments for each resident. So this whole strip will go into the med cart, and then what it is they'll do it for each room and each resident.
Hi, I'm Sue. I'm the nurse here at Vintage Gardens. I'm responsible for medication administration on our second floor, and that's where we are. It is afternoon med pass, and so the medication has already been administered in the morning, and now it's afternoon. So I'm here in front of my resident's room, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out my blister pack, and I can verify that my resident's her picture is on the blister pack. I can also verify on my MAR, because it's a double check and balance system, that is the right resident, and then I can go ahead and mark off that I'm administering these 3 medications, and so they are listed on my MAR, and I verified them on my blister pack. So now I'm ready to go ahead and administer my medication.
The team approach between Fox Drug Store and Vintage Gardens benefited the residents and the nurses at the home and helped grow the business for Fox Drug Store, who implemented the use of the Dispill multi-dose package filled on the SynMed. Contact Synergy Medical today to learn more about the SynMed automated dispensing system.